Hey, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Good afternoon, people that were waiting for the video. Here we are. Well, here we are. Some minor complications have kept us on the leash, but yeah, now here we are back in full force. What we're actually doing here is just a debate on the motion that states that this house believes that change is needed in 2015. I'll be the proposing team and Sima will be the opposing team, which means I'll be for the motion. I'll be speaking for change and he will be speaking against change. So please just bear with us. It will be a little long, 30 minutes around there, but wait for us. Here we are.
So now guys, the rules for today's debate is that each speaker will speak twice. There will be 2 speaker roles for him and 2 for me. That means he goes first as team proposition, opposition goes, and then him, and then me, then the speaker roles are done. Then from there we have what we call reply speech, whereby each speaker uplifts their case and, like, you know, try to convince the people that, yeah, what I'm saying is the truth and what he's saying is shit. Yeah? Exactly.
That's it.
So without any further ado, we call upon Immanuel Tomas to open his case. Start 1:30.
Okay, good, ladies and gentlemen. Adjudicators, fellow Facebookers, friends around the world, social network junkies, my dark opponent right there, I greet you all. Standing before you is Immanuel Tomas, the first speaker of team proposition on the motion that states that this house believes that change is needed. What we believe that we on the proposing team, my team believes that change is needed. Allow me to define the keywords in today's motion before I go deeper into today's debate. I believe that the only complex word that is to be defined here is change, and change is a word that is used to describe a certain modification in something. That is what we believe in. Basically, the motion just wants to tell us that will you be doing something different this year than how you used to do it last year? And we are saying that you should do something different rather than as to how you were doing it last year. Now, for our burden of proof, ladies and gentlemen, what are we going to prove to you in today's debate? We are going to prove to you in today's debate that doing something different than what you did it last year is actually very better and it's actually recommended. We advocate for that. We actually speak for that, ladies and gentlemen. Thus, we need you to support us on this plea. Allow me to proceed. Let me tell you about the status quo. The current status quo. The status quo is just a word that is used to describe what is currently happening in our country. What is currently happening in our country, according to change, is that we all know that this year is just 2 years old. This year is just 2 days old. It's only yesterday and today, and this is the second day. And a lot of people, if you go on social networks, Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, you'll be seeing people say it's a new year, new thing, new change, and that is what is currently happening. People are talking about change. People want change. People need to change. Thus, we are recommending, and we are only here to strengthen, to hit that iron more. So when it hits you, it burns you, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to proceed. I will tell you in my second part of this speech, I'll be giving you the benefits of change and how to change, ladies and gentlemen. My second part of the speech will also be concentrated on rebutting and breaking down the irrelevant points which will obviously be brought forward by Team Sima, ladies and gentlemen. Like I said, change is needed, considering the fact that if you look in our country, no, if you look in society as a general, in the world as a general, a lot of great things did not only come up like that. A lot of great things came to be because of the great men, that had the desire to change things. For example, Nelson Mandela, ladies and gentlemen, he was a man that believed in change. A certain type of change he believed in his education, and that is why in this world we have a well-renowned quote that says that with education, you have the power to change the world, ladies and gentlemen. We also have Sam Nujoma, who took upon change. Sam Nujoma and the whole SWAPO party, they took upon change to bring us good things, ladies and gentlemen. And with these good things, ladies and gentlemen, we have brought change. We have brought positive change. And that is why I, Immanuel Tomas, the first speaker, the first, second, and the only speaker from Team Proposition, am advocating for change. Because change is needed in order to develop, to make our country better. Thus, anything that is going to be said against these words that I am going to speak here today. They are not needed, not a little, not in any way whatsoever. Thus, I only like to bring of light to you that a country without change is a country without a person without change is a person that will just remain the same, and remaining the same is not needed, considering the laws of nature want people to develop, people to actually become better versions of themselves. And if you're not going to, and if you're only going to remain the same, it only means that you are remaining the old boring you, and you are not upgrading. It's just like technology. Number one, it's just like technology. Number one, we started with big phones that were this size. 3310 Nokia was this size, but now we have Blackberries. It's slim. It is because of change, and change is what we need in order to advance, to go forward, to upgrade. That is why I'm telling you, the viewer, the listener, the fan, the supporter, that change is needed. I thank you. So, before I go, I'd like to call on Sima, the first speaker of Team Opposition, to come bring his part of the case. Let's hear what he has to say.
Fellow Facebookers, users, friends, family members, I greet you all. Standing in front of you is Sima Dark and Lovely, well known as Mr. Dark. Ladies and gentlemen, before I proceed in today's debate, before I actually go on, I would like to thank my opponent, Team Scar, for actually defining today's motion, because in other words, it actually made us clear or the whereabouts of today's motion, ladies and gentlemen. Henceforth, I would not be redefining it anymore. I, as the first speaker from Team Opposition, would really want to rebut on few touches that were brought forth by Team Scar in today's debate. Ladies and gentlemen, Team Scar has failed to acknowledge the fact that change is a want and indeed not a need. Ladies and gentlemen, today's motion stands that this house believes that change is a need. Change is needed in 2015, or we need to change in 2015. But we as Team Dark, ladies and gentlemen, decided to say that no, change is not actually a need, but it's a want. Because it's up to you yourself to decide whether I want to change. It's not a necessity, ladies and gentlemen. It's a need. It's not a necessity, but it's a want. It's up to you whether you'd want to change or not. Now, ladies and gentlemen, with that said, let me emphasize more on what we are trying to say in today's debate. Team Scar has failed to mention what the benefits are of change, ladies and gentlemen. That is the question I posed to Team Scar. What are the benefits of change? If I change today, what will be the benefit of me, ladies and gentlemen? He has failed to mention how will who change? How will we change? Are we going to change via what? Mentality, or the size of my tongue, or what is going to change, ladies and gentlemen? And the last thing he has failed to mention is how long would it take to change, because, ladies and gentlemen, time changing requires a duration. It's time consuming, ladies and gentlemen, because if I have decided that I am going to change right now, it does not happen in a blink of an eye, ladies and gentlemen. It takes thought, it takes morals, it takes motivation, it takes encouragement, ladies and gentlemen. Henceforth, Team Scar has failed to mention how are we going to change, when are we going to change, and what exactly is going to change. So, ladies and gentlemen, that point of changing today's debate has fallen flat on the ground. Before I move on to my arguments, allow me to rebut on one more point. A point was brought forth of Nelson Mandela, ladies and gentlemen, that he has changed and led his country to become a democratic country, blah 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 blah. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, that is a good thing. He changed, okay, fine. Now, but when he changed, ladies and gentlemen, he changed to make South Africa a more democratic country. Is it now? Yeah. By doing that, they chased out all the white people out of South Africa. Yes. With what? With violence, ladies and gentlemen. So, in other words, Team Scar is saying that change is violence. Nelson Mandela changed to violence. That's why he's trying to mislead fellow Facebookers that we need to change to violence, ladies and gentlemen. Henceforth, that point of Nelson Mandela falls flat on the ground and holds no water in today's debate. Moving on to my arguments, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, we have decided to implement the fact that change is not a need, but exactly a want. Ladies and gentlemen, if I'm here and Team Scar is telling me, Sima, no, you are too dark, you have to change. Ladies and gentlemen, who is he to come and tell you to change your life? Who is he to tell you to do what you want to do? Ladies and gentlemen, it's either you stick with me or you stick against me. You cannot come there and tell me to change. Change for what? What if I'm good exactly how I am? Who are you to come and tell me that no, change is needed in your life, ladies and gentlemen? If people are out there telling you to change and you feel that you are good the way you are, tell them, my love, my darling, if you don't stick with me, you stick against me, ladies and gentlemen. Change is not needed. If I want to change, I change with my own time. We do not live to please others, ladies and gentlemen. You are born alone, you die alone. You don't need anyone to do so. Another point I would like to enlighten is that change is actually time consuming. Now, ladies and gentlemen, what do I mean by time consuming? Okay, fine. Let's say, for instance, I'm Sima, I'm a smoker in 2014, and I decide, no, I need to change. So, in other words, I need to become a non-smoker. I have to stop smoking. So, for me to change, I have to go to a rehabilitation, which is actually $600 per month while I live in a ghetto, and it will take me about 6 months, because I'm obviously going to fail the first attempt because I'm an addict. So in other words, ladies and gentlemen, you are wasting time, you are wasting money, you are wasting a lot of opportunities that you could have taken just with trying to change what people want you to be, ladies and gentlemen. So change is time consuming. Change is not evitable, ladies and gentlemen. It's up to you to decide whether you want to change. Therefore, ladies and gentlemen, I pledge you to oppose, oppose, and oppose. Thank you. That was quite interesting. It's heating up, right?
Very much.
I would like to call upon Team Scar for his second speech, second round, and yeah, just for him to clarify whatever he wants to say. It's all about change, baby. It's all about change.
Move. Here we go again, ladies and gentlemen. I am back, and I am back with another bang, ladies and gentlemen. Mahatma Gandhi once said that you change, remain the same. You don't change, you do not remain the same. In addition to that, he also said that if you want to change the world, you should start with yourself. Look at the person you are and look at the difference. Identify the difference that is needed and change that difference for a better. If all these famous people, if all these humanitarians wanted to change, then what makes you think, you the simple you that is sitting there at home doing nothing, not want to change? You need to change, ladies and gentlemen. Allow me to go into my team's case as I proceed with what I am going to say. First of all, before I go into my team's case, I'd like to rebut on the irrelevant points that were brought forth. On the irrelevant points that were brought forth by Team Sima. Team Sima came here telling us that change is a want. Yes, change is not only a want, ladies and gentlemen. Change is something that can be deemed relevant, that can be deemed what it is at that specific time. It can be a want, it can be a need, it can be a luxury. It is not only a want, ladies and gentlemen. Say, for example, if I am somebody that kills people, then change does not become a want. I do not have to want I do not have to stop to want stopping to kill people. I have to have that heart. I have to change no matter what, because then it is inevitable, ladies and gentlemen. That is why we are saying that change is inevitable. Allow me to continue. Team Sima asked us questions about what to change, how to change, when to change. He should wait. These are questions that we are going to answer in the progression of this speech, ladies and gentlemen, because the change has a lot of benefits, and and the disadvantage of not changing are also very, 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 very vivid. And this we do not want. We do not want things that are not appropriate, but we want things that are appropriate. Thus, let me give you the benefits of changing. The benefits of changing include development. Development, how do you develop when you change? Ladies and gentlemen, for example, there are a lot of grade 10 failures, grade 12 failures, but if these people really decide to study in 2015, if they really decide to pull up their socks and change, ladies and gentlemen, they will develop, they will become better people, they will study, they will pass, they will be accepted into tertiary institutions, they will go to this institution and become better people, ladies and gentlemen. Thus, which will also allow them to get wealth, which will mean money, and they'll be able to sustain their families, they'll be able to take themselves out of poverty. This is why we need change. We also need change to improve the relations between people. Say, for example, I was very rude last year and I decide to change this year. I will be a friendly person, and a friendly person is the most sociable person. A lot of people will want to talk to me. I will improve my linkage to a lot of other people, and thus it will make me a better human being. For example, your morals, in that sense, they are also improved. Thus, If you change, ladies and gentlemen, it is a very good thing. But if you do not change, there are very, very, very drastic things that can happen to you. For example, you can remain poor because you do not want to study. You just want to be there sitting at home doing nothing, lazying around. And if you're lazying around, who do you think will come help you? Nobody will want to be associated to a person that does not want to change, considering the fact that the change we are advocating for is the good change, the change that speaks for success, the change that speaks for effectiveness and productivity. Ladies and gentlemen, how are you going to change? These are the questions that you are going to answer now. How are you going to change? You are going to become a better person. If you were an alcoholic cluster, you stop drinking. And what are you going to change? You're going to change your mentality, the way you think. You're going to change your physical appearance. Say, for example, you were dirty last year. You're going to make sure that you are a hygienic person this year. And when, ladies and gentlemen, the time frame is this year. And this is why the motion is saying change is needed in 2015. We are going to change this year. Between January and December, those are a lot of months. 12 months. Those are 12 months totally counted. 30 totally counted 365 days and 54 weeks. 54 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. Thus, let me also tell you that national reconciliation took place in South Africa, ladies and gentlemen. Nelson Mandela did not chase up white people. That was Robert Mugabe. Nelson Mandela told white people that we can stay together, ladies and gentlemen. And everybody, and ladies and gentlemen, this change is not time consuming. No. Change is only time consuming if you waste it on wrong things. For example, if you do it correctly, like for example, you stop smoking, which is not time consuming because as you are smoking, you are killing yourself, ladies and gentlemen. And this $600, for example, you smoke 3 cigarettes in one day, and if you smoke 3 cigarettes in one day, every day of the month, this can amount up to $900, which is more than the $600 you can waste on rehab, which means that you will be safe, ladies and gentlemen. It is not time consuming. It is actually conserving your soul, sustaining your health, and maintaining the person that you are. Thus we are saying, ladies and gentlemen, advocate, come to our boat, ride this ride with me. Change is needed. I thank you. This one is nice. This one is nice, ladies and gentlemen.
Exactly.
We now call upon Sima again for his last speech. Give me a hand. Shit, bruh.
Ladies and gentlemen, today's debate was all about change. Whether we want to change, or we need to change, or we do not need to change. But ladies and gentlemen, a lot of arguments were really brought forth in today's debate. Yes, we should not forget the fact that the whole aim of today's debate was to change, not to find the better speaker, not to find who is good at who at talking English, or who is better than who in saying the most difficult words. No, ladies and gentlemen, it's all about the motion, the change. So, allow me to be back, to rebound to the goal, to put some meat around the bone and some icing on the cake, ladies and gentlemen. Before I start with all of these speculations, allow me not to rebut, but just to clarify to the House of what we're exactly trying to implement today. Allow me just to clarify to the House, just to tell them, give them a glance of what we are talking about today. Ladies and gentlemen, change. People are all about change and all that, ladies and gentlemen. You see, Team Scar is discombobulated, he's confused, trying to tell us that Robert Mugabe chased white people out of South Africa. Ladies and gentlemen, so a wise man once said, if you fail to prepare, you prepare to fail. So ladies and gentlemen, Team Scar has failed to prepare, and henceforth they are going to fail. Ladies and gentlemen, let me give you a brief example of change. Let me give you just a glimpse of what change, just to explain to you why we as Team Dark decide that change is a want and how a want is a cost. Scar, let me take you back to business studies, dude. Let me take you back to the days we were in school. In school, it says that a want is expensive. It's a luxury, because if you decide that you want to do something, it's actually, no, dude. It's actually that you want to change a lifestyle, You want to alter your mentality, you want to alter your obligations, you want to alter your morals, ladies and gentlemen. But the fact is that it is costly. Let me give you a brief example. My shirt is written, keep calm and drink beer. Now, ladies and gentlemen, if I decide that, okay, fine, I want to change this shirt, so I have to stand up, go to the shop, look for a printing shop, be shirtless for like what, 30 minutes, pay $50 just to change the t-shirt. Ladies and gentlemen, while I could have used that $50 maybe to do what? To buy bread, to make my hair or something good, ladies and gentlemen. That is why we as Team Dark are trying to state that change is an cost, is an expense. Wherefore, when instead of trying to alter our moral or wasting that money for change, ladies and gentlemen, we can use it for something good. We can go to the elderly home, you can go to the nursery and help the people, trying to give the money that we are trying to use to alter our morals or alter our emotions, ladies and gentlemen. What I'm saying is that the change that we are going to spend on could be spent on something much better, something that could increase the infrastructure of Namibia, that could stabilize the economy of Namibia, that, who knows, industrialize Namibia, ladies and gentlemen. So the money we are going to change with, ladies and gentlemen, is not needed, ladies and gentlemen. Only that's why I'm saying that if you want to change, yes, you can. I'm not stopping you, ladies and gentlemen, but what we are trying to state is that change is not needed, but actually a want. Ladies and gentlemen, today's debate was not all about finding about the better speaker, but actually finding about the points that brought forth, ladies and gentlemen, the status quo, the time frame that was asked, ladies and gentlemen, the burden of proof that we have talked about in today's debate, ladies and gentlemen. Whether it's up to you to decide that, am I going to change from 2014 to become a better person or whatnot, ladies and gentlemen. Another thing Team Scar has failed to take into consideration in today's debate was that he's only talking about the bad people changing to good people. Ladies and gentlemen, fine. Now what if there's already good people that are there? What if I'm already excellent? What if I don't need to change, ladies and gentlemen? That Team Scar has failed to take into consideration in today's debate. He has failed to mention the fact that there are people who are already good at what they are doing, who are already successful, even more successful, that do not need change, ladies and gentlemen. Let me give you an example. Bill Gates, if not the richest man in the world today, can you go to Bill Gates and say, Bill Gates, you need to change to make $1 trillion? No, ladies and gentlemen. Bill Gates will not change because of you are telling him to make $1 trillion. No, he's fine with his $1 billion. He's fine with whatever he's doing, ladies and gentlemen. He's already good. In other words, what I'm saying is that Team Scar has failed to outline the people that are already good, that want to change, because, ladies and gentlemen, the motion of today states that people need to change in 2015, ladies and gentlemen. Therefore, he has failed to take that into consideration. Before I close my case, I ask you to oppose, and oppose. I thank you.
Do you know that you spoke for more than 2 minutes over your time?
I'm sorry. Thank you for listening to that. Don't worry, ne? I know I blunder in English. It's nothing big. But anyways, it's now, remember I told you about the two speaker. They are done. Now it's now a rebut. No, pardon me. It's a reply speech now, whereby Team Scar comes and he actually uplifts his points, and then from there I do so. Then we close the case. So the rules for this are that you do not rebut on what other people said, but you actually build up what you decide to implement in today's debate. So, Scar, we call you forth.
Skip in that. Jump. Get out of my show, man. 9, 10. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for listening to me. This time I'm back with a reply speech, which is basically just a summary of what I said, and strengthening the pillars of my case. I'd like to bring off light to the house that in today's debate I actually clarified everything. I gave you a definition for the motion, a clear definition for the motion, which was stated that change is just doing something different. I gave you a burden of proof where I told you that I'm going to prove that change is needed and it is very, very essential. That why it is needed. I gave you a status quo where I told you what is currently happening, that a lot of people are talking about change in the country and they are talking about change in our society. I gave you vivid examples of what type of change we need. I gave you change of academic I gave you examples of academic change, of economical change, whereby we are going to become more industrialized, and I gave you a lot of other things. For example, I highlighted the benefits of change in our country. What is going to happen if people decide to change? I told you that more wealth will be distributed, our country will become developed, our country will become of people with greater morals, with greater values, ladies and gentlemen. I outlined all these points. I also told you how people will suffer, how people will be disadvantaged if they do not change. For example, I told you that the lazy people will remain lazier and they will not be able to make a living from themselves. They will be conflicted. They will stay in poverty, which means that our country will be full of a lot of poor people, and thus we will not be able to sustain themselves. And that will only pull down the government. The government will not be able to provide for these people, considering the fact that these are the old war horses that are needed, people that are not part of a formal organization or of our country's citizenship, if so to say. Ladies and gentlemen, I also told you that they'll just remain poor, and if a person is poor, a person is not able to provide for themselves, for their families, for society in general, and thus who needs a person like that? We do not really need people like that, because they are only taking in and they are not giving out. We need people that are willing to change, people that are willing to make a difference, because change is the difference that we need in our society. And as I said, Robert Mugabe, ladies and gentlemen, and as ladies and gentlemen, our speakers told us, or the opposition team came up with two main points of saying that change is expensive and change is time consuming. We counter-rebutted on those points exactly by telling you that it is not time consuming, nor is it expensive, because if you're saying it is expensive, a cigarette that you smoke, that you said, they gave an example of smoking cigarettes. We told them, they said that it is expensive considering the fact that you have to go to rehab, which is a very long time, and you have to pay $600 per month. Time consuming. We said that change, the motion clearly states that change is needed in 2015. In 2015, like we said earlier, it's a very, very long period of time. It has 12 months, 366 days, 360 something days, and 54 weeks, ladies and gentlemen. That is more than enough time to be in rehab. And about the $600, ladies and gentlemen, if an addict will not only smoke one cigarette in a day. An addict will smoke about 3-4 cigarettes in a day. That's about $12. $12 multiplied by multiplied by 30, which is the duration of a month, is more than $900, ladies and gentlemen. Which means that is cheap, very, very cheap, considered to the amount that you are going to pay for rehab, ladies and gentlemen. If you can smoke every day more than $20 in a day, then you can afford to save and cover up for rehab for 600 days, ladies and gentlemen. Please do not.
Serok, my bro, Serok.
No, this was not actually supposed to be like that. All I ask is that, ladies and gentlemen, please please notice that change is needed in order to become productive people, in order to become a sustainable nation, in order to become people that have a vision and a mission in life. We need to change, and success can never be adequate. Success can never be adequate. In one of the speeches, as I told you earlier, success can never be measured. Success can never be adequate. Even Bill Gates, who has money, he is good, but he is not the best. He is not better. That is why we need to change, because from good there's another stage which is better, and there's another stage to that one which is best. So even if you are successful now, success can never be adequate. You need to add unto it in order to be the best. So ladies and gentlemen, do not be discombobulated, do not be confused. Follow the road which leads to the light, and that is team proposition. Immanuel Tomas, I am out. Salute. Oh, I'm still here. We now call upon Sima, the third speaker for the reply speech in his team's case.
Let the arguments continue.
This is you see, this is a $800 bottle. For you to change to buy another one is expensive. Napa, what your bottle? Change is expensive, I'm telling you people. Okay, jokes aside, ladies and gentlemen, allow me to be back again for my last argument. Yo, it's been a long day. Last one, we're almost done. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Facebook users, you know me very well. I'm Sima, dark and lovely Ingo. This is my homeboy there with a trimmed beard. I'm Scar. So yeah, just like to close our case. Ladies and gentlemen, today's debate was a struggle. You know, it was really to outline and outlift all the arguments that we've decided to put into practice. And yeah, a lot was said, but ladies and gentlemen, just to close off, just to give you a brief closing of that, I would like to mention like the clash of today's debate, where actually where the clash was. Like in today's debate, there was a clash whereby Team Scar and Team Sima did not stick together, where the clash was that Team Scar was saying it's a need, Team Sima was saying it's a want. So now, ladies and gentlemen, how did we as Team Sima outwin the arguments of Team Scar, ladies and gentlemen? Allow me to bring you to light. We've mentioned about the duration of time, whereby it's going to take you time in order for you to change. It's a time frame. A time frame was needed. A time frame was not given. Only that change is needed, but no time frame was given, ladies and gentlemen. We give you that it was consuming money. It's costly. It's expensive. Even though you are spending a dime or a cent, ladies and gentlemen, fact still remains that it's costly. And when it's a want is something that is costly, you know, ladies and gentlemen. And it was that a lot of examples were given today in today's debate, ladies and gentlemen. Another clash was at that I have mentioned that people only change if they want to, but Team Scar counter-attacked on that point and said, no, what if you are a killer? You know, a killer needs to change, because if you're a killer, you cannot decide you want to change, ladies and gentlemen. And that was a good point. He brought forth a good point. I salute you for that, my boy. I salute you for that. But ladies and gentlemen, we get people who have died in prison, people who were given life sentences, like they were given a punishment. Dude, Scar, really, bro. They were given a punishment, and that punishment, it was actually an incentive for you to change. But what did they do? They decided, no, I don't need to change. Exactly, ladies and gentlemen. Who am I talking about? Let's talk about Boko Haram in Nigeria. Ladies and gentlemen, Boko Haram kidnapped the girls. If it was a necessity for him to change, ladies and gentlemen, he would have just decided to change. But no, he decided no, he doesn't want to change, ladies and gentlemen. About the murderers in prison, who's he? I think if you are well aware of him, they call him Maleven from South African prisons. He's a murderer, ladies and gentlemen. And he didn't need to change. It was just up to him to change, ladies and gentlemen. What we are trying to implement in today's debate is that change is not a need, ladies and gentlemen. It's a want. As I've mentioned before, if I'm here and you do not like the way I roll, you do not like the way I dice, you cannot come and tell me to change. No. For instance, ladies and gentlemen, he's light, I'm dark. He cannot come and tell me, no, Sima, you are dark, you need to change. No, ladies and gentlemen, who are you to come into my life, to come and tell me what to do? If you don't like me, then just go away. Ladies and gentlemen, you cannot come and force me to change. You cannot come and force me to do something that I don't want to do, ladies and gentlemen. It's actually, I can actually accuse you for what? Aggravation, ladies and gentlemen. So in other words, change is a crime, if to put it like that, ladies and gentlemen. Points were brought forth in today's debate, ladies and gentlemen. Before I close off, I would love to urge with you, ladies and gentlemen, that you are born alone and you die alone. No one will be there to tell you to do whatever you want. You live your life the way you want, whether it's immorally or morally. At the end of the day, you go alone in your coffin. So, ladies and gentlemen, I ask you to oppose, oppose, and oppose. Therefore, I rest my case. Salute!
Salute! Serious business now. Move, shift. Hey guys, there was a video. Many of these will be coming. Share. Put it out. Put it on social networks. Put it on Twitter. Put it on. It's too big for Instagram, but just give it, man. On YouTube. Invite your friends. Tell your friends to come see it, to come check it out. All we ask is for exposure. It might be that we'll be doing more of these videos, even though it's not a debate one. The aim is actually just to inform the masses of current situations, things that are happening, things that are trending. You never know. The next one might be about relationships, who cheats more, girls or boys. The next one might be about why people kill one another, why girls are always killed. The thing is that the point here is actually that we are trying to make a change, ladies and gentlemen, and thus change is needed. Please advocate for Scar. In order to vote, you just have to comment.
No, it's me. In order for you to vote, whoever won the debate, you comment. You only comment once. You comment that who won, and you give a reason. So if you say Immanuel Scar won this debate because of this and this and this and this and this, and then that's all, then you keep quiet. Fine, it's done. It's your vote. You only vote once.
But at the end of the day, even if you feel that you don't need to write the long reason, as long as you listen to it and you really gave your all and you were there throughout the 35-minute session, you listened as to who gave the most points and who said the most things. Just understand
the most things that made sense.
The most things that made sense. Choose a person that you think actually did make a difference in today's debate. With that said, we thank you. Team Scar, Team Sima, salute.
Saluto. Zet no quero.